Bright Education Center, Medical and Engineering Entrance Coaching Center, Hilal area, Doha, Qatar.
Today we are going to discuss how to draw the structure of heart. We know human heart or mammalian heart is with 4 chambers, 2 ventricle and 2 atrium. Atrium is the upper chamber and ventricle is the lower chamber. The structure, the diagram just like this. So this is the outline of our heart, and these are the 2 upper chamber, these are the 2 lower chamber. And upper chamber, that is atrium, is with a thin wall. The wall is very thin, so we can draw just like this, 2 thin chain. And here there is a wall, and the wall in the ventricle which is thicker than the upper wall. So just like this. So this is right atrium and this is right ventricle, and this is left atrium, and the wall of left ventricle is somewhat thicker than the wall of right ventricle. So this is the left ventricle. So the lower chambers are ventricle and the upper chambers are auricle. And now there are different blood vessels that is joining to the heart and some blood vessel that is starting from the heart. So how we can draw this? So right atrium that receive the blood, the deoxygenated blood from the different parts of the body through the blood vessel that is called as Vena Cava. So the Vena Cava, there are 2 types of Vena Cava is there. So we can draw, this is one Vena Cava, and here another Vena Cava. Vena Cava that carry deoxygenated blood from our body, and this is superior Vena Cava and this is inferior Vena Cava. So that carry impure blood or deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body, and when the right atrium that filled with oxygenated blood from different parts of the body, and that will pass on to right ventricle. So the upper chamber is always receiving the blood from different parts, and the lower chamber that is pumping into the other parts. So right ventricle, from the right ventricle the blood will move into lungs through the blood vessel that is called as pulmonary artery. So right ventricle, the blood vessel that starts, it is called as pulmonary artery. So how to draw the pulmonary artery? Pulmonary artery we can draw just like a T, because there is 2 branches. One is going into right lungs and another is going into left lungs. So this is starting from the right ventricle. So this is called as pulmonary artery, and pulmonary artery that carry blood into lungs, and this lungs is deoxygenated blood. So this is pulmonary artery, and this is to lungs. This is to left lungs and this is to right lungs. So inside the lungs there is a blood purification taken place, and the purified blood, that is oxygenated blood, that is received by the left atrium. So left atrium that is receiving the blood, and from there are 2 blood vessels, that is from the left side and also from right side, and this blood vessel is called as pulmonary vein. So this is pulmonary vein that is from lungs, and it is oxygenated blood. This is oxygenated blood, So here the valve is the valve that control the back flow of blood when it is contracting. So this oxygenated blood that is carrying from the lungs, and that is received by the left atrium, and from the left atrium it is flowing into the left ventricle. And when the left ventricle contracts, left ventricle which is with the thickest wall, because it is pumping the blood with high pressure into the different parts of the body through the blood vessel, and that is called as aorta. It is the largest artery in our body, and that is starting from the left ventricle. So this is starting from here, and it is the largest blood vessel, largest artery in our body. So we can draw just like a aorta. From the left ventricle, when the left ventricle contracts, the blood will move into, this is the blood and this is the oxygenated blood that is moving to different parts of the body to the organs and through aorta. So what are the blood vessels that is joining to the heart? Two blood vessels that is joining to the heart. One is Vena Cava and Pulmonary Vein. The blood vessel that is starting from heart, that is, one is Pulmonary Artery from the right ventricle and aorta from the left ventricle. So the upper chambers, atrium or auricle, that is receiving blood from different parts. Receiving blood from different parts, and ventricle that send the blood into either to the lungs or to different organ. So one is left ventricle that is sending the blood into the lungs for purification, and the purified blood is that is stored in the left atrium, and from the left atrium it is moving to left ventricle, and when the left ventricle that contracts, the blood that will move into different organ that is called as aorta. So this is the structure, the line diagram of heart, and in next session we will explain how to draw the brain and also how to draw the nephron and neuron, because all these diagrams are very important for our board level examinations.
Bright Education Center, Medical and Engineering Entrance Coaching Center, Hilal area, Doha, Qatar. For further enquiries, contact 306 00679.